Hey guys, today we're going to talk about finding a good church. In the Philippines, it's not that hard to find a decent church over here. Although a lot of the churches, they speak in Tagalog or in their local language, you know. But most of the time they speak in Tagalog and with a mixture of English sometimes in some churches. The closer you get to Manila, the more likely you'll find a church that will speak half in English, half in Tagalog usually. My church, because of everything that's going on, I haven't been able to go much. Although it is open, you know, I just don't go there because with this COVID thing, I just want to stay away from all that stuff until things clear up here. You know, but we have a Catholic church in my town. We have Mormons not too far away. We also have Jehovahs Witnesses, if you're a Jehovah's Witness. We have all kinds of missions going on too. And some of these people, my friends, are really good people. But if you guys are looking for a church, usually most towns have, if it's a good sized town and you're not out in the provinces, it's pretty easy to find a good church. You know, and just if that's your thing and you're pretty religious, it's pretty, like I said, it's not hard to find a good church here. And just, you know, kind of melt into your church or whatever. And also, guys, if you're coming over here and you want to do some missionary work or something, there's tons of places over here to plug yourself in if that's your thing, you know. And some people do it on their own. Some people join a church and do it. And I've done it with my church, and I do some on my own, you know. And I mean, I have some great people in my church, you know. And before all this stuff went down with all this craziness, we used to go up to Manila and have a good time up there. And, you know, there's great times to be had with great friends. You know, I always talk about that over here because, you know, some of my best friends are at my church too. I have a lot of good people at my church. And, you know, God bless them, because without them, I think life would be a lot harder here, you know. But I have all kinds of friends here. As you guys know, we talk about friendship a lot because friendship's a huge part in the Philippines. It really is. You know, I feel more at home here than I ever did in the United States because of that. You know, and that's a huge part of making life easy here. You know, it just makes it so easy to live here. And like I said, you'll always feel loved in the Philippines. You really will. You know, but for you guys looking for a good church, some of you guys, if you're looking for a decent church, Cavite is a good area. Cavite province has a lot of churches here. A lot of Christian churches, a lot of Catholic churches. I mean, Catholic is the most prevalent, obviously. And there's some old churches here in Cavite, some old Spanish churches. If you're a Catholic and you want to join a really beautiful church, some of these churches are really incredibly beautiful. And they're well worth visiting. Even if you're not a Catholic, they're worth visiting just to see the architecture of the churches and stuff. Exceptional beauty inside those churches and on the outside too. And there's a lot of other churches in the Philippines. And we got some stuff coming up soon in Manila. I'm going to try to be visiting some of these old Spanish buildings. And hopefully I can get into some of them so we can see the inside architecture too. But it's mostly probably going to be the outside architecture. But I'm going to try to get in to do some film inside these places too. And I really want to show you guys some of these older churches and stuff like that, and see if we can find a couple of those that we can get in. Some places, they won't let you in. Some places will let you in. You know, I really, really want to get in and show you guys some of this stuff. But we'll see how it goes when I get up there. I'll be up there probably either tomorrow or the next day. And we're going to be walking the streets again and get some more footage, you know, because our footage runs out, let's see, in 2 more days of the I think the Dasma jeepney rides and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to pick up some more street footage, church footage, old building footage. And I'm also going to try to get into the World War II cemetery. You know, I really want to show that. You know, that's part of our history here. The United States has a lot of history here, and it's kind of a sad history, but you know something, I really want to show that cemetery because I know a lot of people back in the States have a lot of relatives there. I'd like to show some of the stones there and stuff of some of the people that have been forgotten. You know, we really need to remember those people, some of those veterans that fought here, you know, and even during the Spanish-American War, we lost a lot of people too, you know, and some of them were Buffalo soldiers. And if you love history, read about the history of the Buffalo soldiers here. It's kind of an interesting history here, you know, because we had a lot of Buffalo soldiers that actually switched sides during the Spanish-American War. There was about 14 of them that they switched to the Filipino side because they had heard the officers calling the Filipinos the N-word, and it kind of really, you know, really ticked them off. And they flipped sides, and they went to fight for the Filipinos. And I found that interesting because, you know, we talk about racism today, and racism back then was 10 times worse, you know, and it was mostly, believe it or not, it was mostly among the officers, the higher-ups. It wasn't among the lower people, you know, it was among the officers. You know, the enlisted people, for the most part, you know, a lot of them got along with the blacks because they fought side by side with them sometimes. But you know something? It was mostly the officers, the wealthier people that had, you know, had that racism in their blood. And it was kind of sad. I read a lot of stories about that, and they always talk about the officers, because the officers were usually the ones that were the most racist. Not to say that the other ones weren't either. Some of them probably were, and I'm sure that some of them were. But for the most part, it was the officers, and that's the sad part of it, you know. But if you want to read a really decent, interesting story, read about the Buffalo soldiers in the Philippines. You can look them up, and a lot of people don't know that the Buffalo soldiers were over here, and it's a great, great story, you know. Lots of neat history here. And I'm going to try to see if I can dig up some of that history and find places where the Buffalo soldiers were eventually, you know, when I get up north, once this quarantine stuff is over. I really, really want to do some stuff up north by Subic and Clark and, you know, Camp, I think it's John Hay or something like that, I believe it's called. There's some places up in, like in Baguio, that area, where a lot of action took place during the Spanish-American War, and there's some other places too. Really interesting stuff, you know, and some really interesting Buffalo soldiers that fought there that, you know, you can read about here too. And, you know, I'm telling you, look up your history in the Philippines, because there's no shortage of history here, because, you know, between World War II, the Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War, trust me, you'll keep yourself busy for a long time reading stuff. I mean, a lot of submarine history out here. There's all kinds of submarine stories off the Philippines, you know. So, but anyway, guys, God bless. And hopefully I can show some of this stuff soon. You know, I am going up to do some footage. You know, I'm going to spend the whole day up there, and me and my friend Pax are going to be going around town, and we're going to try to come back with some really good footage. Hopefully we'll get the Spanish section first, and hopefully we have enough time to go to the cemetery too, so we can get that footage. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. And when you get over here, be sure to find a good church, guys. If that's your thing, you know, we have many great churches over here. God bless, guys. Take care.